What's up, guys? My name is Con, and we're back today with more Railroads Online, and today we're at the Smelter, and we're going to go to the coal mine because it's right next to the Smelter, and then after that, we're finally going to run some trains. So keep putting those company names down below. I'm not buying any trains this episode. When we buy a train, that's when we have to decide the company name. So far, I've had a lot of good contenders, including Shart, but mostly I've noticed that you guys basically use the opportunity to figure out abbreviations that make really offensive swear words and put them on the side of the train. So I liked Shart. I saw Fart, had a couple of pee and poos, and some poops. I think someone even did boob as an abbreviation. Really enjoying the humor, guys. It's really right up there. So yeah, company names, this Lake Valley stuff's gotta go. And it's got to be something that abbreviates quite amazing. So we're going to go to the iron mine. It's apparently right that away. And I've been told by pretty much everybody that it is an extremely difficult job to get to the iron mine. It is very, very deep down there. So we've got a lot of space here to work with, which is good. Over by the smelter. Going to make some sort of a yard over there and deal with that. And then here is the iron mine down here. Now remember, we're going to have to take products all the way from the sawmill there to the iron mine, so we're going to have to come up the 4% line to the smelter and then come down to the iron mine. Luckily, coming down shouldn't be an issue. So ideally what I want to do is have the smelter sort of be an area that we can use for shunting around, bringing up full loads, dropping off loaded trains, and then having a smaller train push it from the smelter down towards the iron mine and bring empties back and that sort of thing. So let's just drop in here. Oh yeah, that is a steep hill. That is an aggressive hill. This is a rough spot. So we're basically gonna have to come out here and go along there. We're gonna start at the iron mine side, work our way up to that plateau, and then see where we're at. Although I should work down. Nah, we're gonna start from here. The iron mine, I don't really care to have much shunting and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do 2 lanes here so you can have 1 pass track just in case you need to get around a train that's loading or something. But honestly, I'm not too worried about it being like a major hub. That's what the smelter's gonna be for. This is just gonna be a really, really steep 10% nonsense area that's like just really terrible to deal with. Like even these aren't level to each other. They're all different. So yeah, we're just gonna make this really, really tall and, or not really, really tall, really, really steep, sorry, getting in and out of it. And we'll use extremely specialized trains to do it. The smelter itself will just be a 4% area. And then we'll, deal with the iron mine with only like 2 or 3 cars at a time. And I think that'll work great. So we're just going to set up a station track. And yeah, I think I'm going to try and space this with another track. So this goes to here. This is level. Oh my god, this is really tall. That's fine. And then can we even get out of here? This is like the $1 million question. Can I get out of here without like a stupid curve? Let's try a 60 meter. 60 meters generally as steep as we want to go. Oh yeah, that just dies. That's just terrible. If I go 50, do I make it? 50 dies. Okay, well, we can cut this back. We're gonna have to cut that. That's insane. This is they didn't really make this any looser. On the last iron mine, you had no space on the other end. You were right up against a cliff. And on this iron mine, it's kind of the same thing. You're still pretty much right up against a cliff. So that's kind of terrible. But what I can do is we can start the curve here. There we go, at the loading area. It'll still load there, no problem. We're just loading on a bit of a curve, not the end of the world. And now we can go from like a 150 down to a 60, and we should clear this. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that's gonna be perfect. Do we actually clear? Oh yeah, that is just, there we go. Oh my good, look at that. That is absolutely amazing. Unbelievable. That's as close as you could get. Perfect. All right, and then we'll just keep going with this. All right, so we've extended out this way. We're gonna keep going. Let's do another rotation here. Let's do a curve to the left or to the right. We're gonna do this one a little more shallow than the other one. Not that it, I guess we can still go pretty steep. We basically just have to line up with the edge of that plateau over there. 70 meters. Okay, do we actually clear this? We do. This is cool. We're gonna go right to about here, and then we're gonna put a switch going left and attach it on this side. And I think that's good. Don't want any floating yeah, that's perfect. And then we're gonna bridge up that way. And then we basically just have to connect this line up to the other line. Remember my whole thing about like a passing track at the iron mine? Yeah, I don't think that's happening anymore. You come in on the loop, you leave on the loop, you do all your passing at the smelter. we'll build a relatively large yard at the smelter at that one spot. This is kind of silly though, because we're doing 250-meter curves. So like, that'll never make it. There's no way in the universe this ever makes it there. Because we'd have to like cut way sharper than 50 meters. Okay, yeah, let me just go to this side. I'm gonna figure this out and then we'll be right back. All right, so this is awesome. There's no way we're making that switch. So we're gonna start the climb out, and look at how cool this is. This is 10%, and it's just, I mean, that's just gnarly. That's kind of awesome. So yeah, we're gonna have that path come up this way as well, hopefully, and then we'll switch like right here. So we're gonna go from 10% down to essentially 0 at the top. No, we have to clear this though. We gotta keep coming up, and then yeah, we'll put a switch right up on this crest somewhere. Pretty much like right here. That should be fine. And then this is where we'll switch off, and maybe, oh no, we have to go higher up. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get up to here, and then we're gonna switch off here. I think this works. It's all right. It's a little gross. We can patch that up a little bit though. But it's a roller coaster. It's literally a roller coaster. Now I'm gonna delete this, and I'm gonna delete that, and now I'm gonna let these link on their own. I should kind of just use some placeholder pieces, and now it should make a nice smooth curve. Yeah, there. Oh god, that's still a roller coaster. Yeah, that's actually like worse. Makes this like terrible S-bend. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna just go back to the way it was. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun going down to the iron mine and then trying to get back out of the iron mine. But luckily, like, we don't have to go very far. We only have to go to the smelter. So it's really just, you know, the world's smallest trips to get there. We're gonna go like that to there again, and then yeah, we're gonna come here. There we go. Smooth that out. Oh boy. All right, that's good. That's great. It's great. It's gonna be fun. All right, let's go build the other track getting up to here, and then we got to go up that hill. So it's gonna be like 10% down to this, and then you're gonna be going incredibly fast with your brakes on fire, and then you still have to go down here. At least coming up, you'll be slow, but it is gonna be a 10% slog. So this is actually going to be the coolest iron mine ever. It's weird because the iron mine's low, but still high up in the mountains. The other option is we could go all the way down there and go by the lake and make like a super shallow line coming up the lake. And maybe at one point in time we'll do that. Like we can come up there, you know, and go down towards the lake or something. But for now, this is going to be a lot of fun. All right, interestingly enough, the line on this side is actually 8%. Like it's closer. I'm going to connect this final piece just by clicking, but you can see it's closer to 8%. Really steep curve. It's got a 50-degree curve, but I actually, like, this run-up was, this is 5 and then 8, and then it goes up with 8. So you actually might be better leaving this way and going down on the 10% line. But they are both connected now. They're both connected up to that switch. We come in, like, just really, really fast and hot down into this area, and, yeah, you just loop your way back out. It's gonna be cool. I actually got my spreadsheet again. You know, I got Heist to send it to me. It was really appreciated. So we'll go over tractive effort math at some point in time, but there are a bunch of engines that aren't on the spreadsheet, but we're going to have to do some loaded calculations again when it comes to pulling trains. We're definitely going to need probably a switch here somewhere and a helper station, have an engine parked at the, you know what, we'll probably just do that right now. I could put a switch off the loading area just so we can have at least one extra engine parked here. Excuse me, tree, hello, are you serious? Okay, good, that tree's gone, perfect. The little trees are cool, but I'm kind of worried that one of these days we're going to have one that pokes out of the track, and it's enough to derail the train, but we can't actually delete it. Which, you know, isn't the end of the world. You just delete the track and then fix it, but it's still one of those things that would kind of suck if you couldn't see it. So I put a switch here, and then we're just going to bring a track off this. We'll do it at like 50, and then we'll try and get this to go to a switch like that. And then I think I should be able to do a little thing like this and take another switch and go that way. All right, and then if I've done this right, we can have both of these go to an engine shed. Although I don't know if I can link an engine shed. We'll do Alpine Blue, Aspen Gold. I don't remember which one I like. I think Prince Mineral Brown is just the generic. Yeah, see, I think this is too much, even if I could line that up. All right, I couldn't fit the engine shed over here. It kept interfering with that curve. So instead, we've just got this like really steep, this is all yard track, so it doesn't matter. This is really bad, like it's 30 meters. But we've got this really steep line coming in here, and then it goes to a little bit of a lead track here that we can use to then switch over. The idea being we can store engines, and then we've got a turntable here so we can actually, you know, turn them around. And worst case scenario, if we want to, we could put a bunch of sheds off the turntable. Although, to be honest, this is the, this is the iron mine. We're not exactly going to be storing a whole lot of engines here. We also could use one of these, like, covered structures. There is these, like, engine house structures. So we could just make one of these and have a couple lines coming off the turntable and going to that. But either way, not really important for now. It's nice to just have some track. So, this is set up enough, and I think this will work great. I mean, we're mainly going to be coming in and leaving right away. It's nice to have an iron mine loop this time and deal with more stuff at the smelter. So we're going to head back up and go back towards the smelter. Now that this line is 8% though, I'm going to try and continue at 8% instead of 10%. So we'll have this section as 10% for sure, which is just like, it's the roller coaster ride. You could probably make that 8% and have it ramp more. It flattens out right away. This one kind of ramps starting a little bit back more. You know what? It's not that big a deal. To be honest, this whole thing's just going to be a roller coaster. And then we go to our flat switch, which is great. And then, yeah, we're going to try and get to that hill in one shot, which I think we can probably do at 8%. So let's just keep this nice and smooth. Maybe, 200 meter curve. We'll go into an 8%. Let's do a little bit of a lead up track. Let's do this to 5% like that. And then we'll go into a bridge. And hopefully I can just keep this wooden to kind of fit, but I think it's going to have to go steel. I don't think it's going to... I think we're going to get too tall here in a second. But let's see how far we get to the top of that hill. That is incredibly steep. I mean, we could curve in a little bit more, and then we'll clear it. If I cut in this way, to the... Yeah, like now we'll clear it. Okay. That's what we're doing, 100%. Can I make this out of wood? I cannot. Yeah, this whole bridge has to be steel, 100%. All right, so we just need to cut in a little bit more. We need to go wide on that first bridge. That was like a 220 or something like that. And then we'll cut in a little bit. And then I think that's it. I think that's the end of the steep line. And the rest should be relatively flat getting back to the smelter. All right, so there we go. Nice single spline curved bridge. That looks wonderful. This is narrow gauging. This is going to be awesome. Trying to get coal, like coal and iron are so heavy, and trying to get iron out from there, it's going to be 3 engines pushing 2 hoppers. It's going to be amazing. Like 10% line. It's actually probably going to be 1 engine pushing 1 hopper if we're lucky. Like, I'm really excited for that. It's kind of nice. It's going to feel narrow gauge, Like, it's going to really feel like the narrow gauge situation. I think the oh, it's right there. We can see the stacks. Okay. So I think we're above the smelter height now. And I'm going to want to go... No, we're going to go straight for a bit and just clear this. All right, we can clearly see the smelter now. And we're basically coming in at this side of the smelter. We're probably a little higher up than we need to be. So now we're going to work on the smelter industry track a little bit, kind of lay that out. I'll make some sort of a yard. The smelter's going to have definitely a yard that allows us to manage a bunch of things. So we're going to have to split the track on the input, split it to a yard on one side. Well, we have to pick up products on one side too. So we're going to have both sides built out, have to have products on both. Yeah, I'm going to build out this yard just a little bit because I want to make sure that the smelter is a really functional area, especially because we have to have cordwood trains constantly coming to the smelter, which is just, it's going to be a royal pain in the butt. The logging camp is past the freight depot, so we have to go all the way past the freight depot and then all the way basically to the sawmill with cordwood and then loop it up 4% just to get it to the smelter. It's going to be a real pain. But yeah, we gotta split this track way back there, and then we have to have it split into, there's got to be a whole, like this is a perfect place to build a yard, right here off this side. So this will be the first of many, many lanes. We can actually probably do this with switches right away and have this be the first yard area. Okay, and all we got to do is cut down a few more trees, and we have a yard. Look at that. Isn't that, it's so easy with the new spline tool. You just place 5 switches, you drag out some straight lines, you place a bunch more switches, you connect them up. It's honestly super convenient. I remember the old days of building these like ridiculously complicated yards out of like 10-foot splines, and you had to place the foundation manually, and nothing could go straight, and there wasn't an alignment tool. And yeah, it was some jank railroading back then. Building straight lines was really tough, but now it's just amazing. Building straight lines is just awesome. So I left that extra switch there. We'll have that turn off. Go to another round table here. Possibly have some sheds out there, whatever, extra storage space. So now all we got to do is loop this back around to that side, and then we got to have a split off this that goes up well, actually a Y off this that goes and connects to our line over there. That one we can actually keep out further. So we have to loop this around. I do want the smelter to be, oh, and we got to connect this up over there at the front. So still a few things to do. I'm not going to have this loop on both ends, because I don't think there's a reason we would ever need to come, like if we're coming out of the yard, we can loop around this way. I don't see a reason why we'd have to come out of the yard and then loop around that way. So yeah, I gotta figure out this stupid thing. I don't know what I want to do with this cordwood. You know, I honestly, I really want to cheese the cordwood, I think is what I want to do this round. And it's going to be stupid, but I'm going to cheese it. And well, the way we do it is really simple. We keep this straight, right? And then we put 2 inner tracks here. And on these inner tracks, I put cordwood cars. And what we do is when we go to unload, we unload from one car, it'll unload to the next car, and then you can unload it to the next car, and then unload it to the platform. And that way our trains can just come in straight, and we could have like 2 sets of 2 cordwood cars, you know, and we're essentially making a dock out of cordwood cars. And I honestly think that's what I'm going to do. I've never done it before, and it's kind of cheesy, but I feel like it's the way to do it because I'm so tired of having to shunt 3 cordwood cars at a time to unload the resource that the smelter sucks back, like, all of. It's insane how much cordwood the smelter requires. So we're just going to go out to here, and then we're going to use switches to align it, and then we'll delete the switches, and eventually we'll just re-rail the cars onto it, and they'll never be touched again, and it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. All right, perfect. It's exactly like that. We'll put bumpers on the other end, and it'll be one of those tracks that you see at a museum or something where people always question how the heck the train got on the track in the first place. It's just going to be one of those, because that's actually kind of the smartest thing we could do. And I'm leaving these tracks open because we're going to have to re-rail some cars over, and then we're probably going to have to re-rail like a porter onto one of these and shove all the cars together, link them up, tie all their brakes, and then essentially we should be able to unload from here onto these cars, unload these cars onto these cars, unload these cars to the platform, and life will be golden. So now we're just going to connect this up to that side, that up to that side, and then we're going to take all the track for a spin with the good old porter Betsy there. So let's just get this finished up real quick, and then we'll see what Betsy can do on 10%, towing a bunch of empty log cars. Don't worry, next episode, we're going to make some money. We're going to start grinding out some cash, make some money, and then we'll start dealing with actually buying some better locomotives, because I'm pretty sure speed limits can go a little bit better now. Like, we can go some spicy speeds, so I'm hoping to really test that out with some of the bigger engines. Okay, I finished up this industry. I think it's pretty good. It's got a lot of function. It does have a continuous loop. We're actually going to do like a bird's eye view. I always forget that we have that with the industry placing tool. So this is it. That goes down to the iron mine. It comes back up. And let's just grab an oil field here and just go really, really high up. There we go. Perfect. So you can see there's our iron line mine. Oops, a little too high. There we go. It comes in this way. It splits up into a Y. Don't mind the refinery. We've got a loop coming around here, the big shunt yard on the left, and then I put a long passing track on the right here, just so if people are unloading at the cordwood or they're unloading at the iron, you know, you've got some space to go around them potentially, although the iron unload is kind of right at the front there. But again, iron unload should only be like 1 or 2 cars max, because we're going to have to drag them up the 10% death line. And then you can see it goes to another Y there, which goes down the 4% to the freight depot. So we come in on the 1Y, you go left or right. Right goes into the shunt yard and the loading area for iron products, so we're going back down, and left goes into the unload. Most likely you'll come in, go up the left, come along that left side, loop around that loop. That loop's a nice gradual, I think it's a 50-meter turn or a 60, something like that. It's not great, but it's good. And the main line there going out is a nice 70. That's a 70 going is like 100. This one here is tight. This is a 30-meter loop back. But again, I realize when we're coming in with the iron, we're going to come up the 10% line. We're going to have to come in one of these directions, and then we're going to have to loop back around and go back out. But overall, I think it's a pretty functional yard. We can add some details. Obviously, we're going to have some buildings coming off that switch off. For now, I just put a block on it. But yeah, we'll eventually have some buildings over here. We'll really decorate it to make it look kind of like a town. And we do have the one bridge on the road here to cross it. Unfortunately, the crossing here is not tall enough for a bridge, so the people would just have to climb up like, you know, a 3-foot wall of fill. The road doesn't, yeah, the road kind of gets blocked here, but you know, it is what it is. So we're going to grab the porter, we're going to go down to the iron mine, check that out, see how that is, and then come back up, hopefully, if, I'm assuming the porter can pull 6 empty cars up 10%. I actually don't know. but we're going to find out and see what it can do. And I think this is going to be great for cordwood unloading. This is going to be the best cordwood unloading system I think I've ever done, and I'm really excited to try it. We're also going to need to build a bit of a yard at the freight depot at some point. Need some fuel systems, so I'll probably have to build that relatively soon. I do want to start making some money, absolutely, so we can get some better cars and better locomotives, but we might have to build something at the freight depot to have a fuel drop-off point, a point where we can take wood from the logging camp, bring it there, also have like a coal tower there at some point, although we're not going to have coal engines for a while, and then the water towers, of course. But either way, I mean, that's, you know, might have to just throw down those for now, and then eventually build a proper yard setup for all that stuff. But we're going the right way. Here we go. I also made sure when I did this time to put space between the switches. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt when you have both flags on the same side, or even flags on the opposite side. You can't tell which one belongs to which switch. So I made sure in this yard, except for the spots where the switches are all like, you know, just feeding. Are you serious? Did I not cut one freaking tree again? Oh, God. It's always one tree. And I was looking, I wasn't even paying attention. I was just, I don't know what I was looking at. It doesn't matter, I'll fix this. But yeah, I made sure to put spaces between the switches so we could really tell, you know, where each switch is and what directions they're going. And that way we'll avoid confusion, except in the yard, the shunt yard. That's the only spot where it doesn't really matter. All right, let's jam all this back together. I can't believe that. It's every freaking time, man, I swear. There we go. Give it a little bit of throttle. Let's go. Just grab all this stuff. At least this is easy enough to re-rail. There we go. Perfect. 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 Done. Full steam ahead. 100%. 100%. Wonderful. No more trees, right? Like, we're good. That's it. This is a cool smelter location. It feels like much better in this map than the other map. The smelter is always kind of like your main mid-tier industry. I feel like, well, there's two. It's like the sawmill and the smelter. You use the sawmill for a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff takes sawmill products, and then a lot of stuff takes smelter products. So you always got a lot of activity and traffic coming in and around the smelter. And, you know, we've got that 4% line coming up and down, so that's gonna have to be scheduled. Like, if people are coming up, you can't have people going down and vice versa. But the smelter itself is gonna be a good point for people to wait. You got lots of lanes there to shunt traffic and, you know, and deal with that and really make a consist and bring it down all at once. So we'll have to build another yard at the bottom of the 4%, but I think that'll actually just be the freight depot yard. That'll probably be where we group up and, you know, rearrange all the stuff, have a big yard there as well. But really, there's gonna be two yards, one at the top, one at the bottom, and they're your two main hubs, and everything else gets transported in between them by these, like, you know, consist trains or whatever that are multi-consist that have products going to all sorts of destinations. So that's my goal, that's my hope, that we can sort stuff at the bottom, sort stuff at the top, and do everything in between. So we're gonna cut the throttle here, because this is a little bit of a, I don't know if this is a climb. I think, no, we're already on the downhill. Yeah, we're already on the downhill. Let's just get some brake. Maybe not full brake, but definitely gonna need some brake here. It's only empty car. Oh, I did not cut all the trees in the bridge. There are trees in the bridge. Okay, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Look at the difference, though. It looks like the switch is a jump, but it's not. It's flat. You're going from 10% to flat, and then back to 10%. That's great, though. It'll actually give, you know, a little bit of a helper point halfway through. So engines will come up with some speed, and then they'll have a little point where they're flat, which will let them, you know, kind of pick up a little bit more speed going through. We're already going too fast. Controllable, though. 16, 17. Alright, this is nice. This is going to be a cool industry to play around with. Just crank it to full speed. There we go. And we come flying in, 60-meter turn. Full speed, load our iron, load our whatever, unload our stuff. Boom, boom, boom. And now we crank it at max reg. Oh, no, max reg forward. That would be good. Even though, to be honest, Betsy's drivers aren't doing anything at 19. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we can, I mean, it's 6 empties, right? It's gonna be like, what, 60,000 pounds? Can Betsy even pull up 10% is the question. I don't know if Betsy can pull her own steam up 10%. I might have a stranded engine here in a second. And I totally forgot to do a save before I got in Betsy and drove down here. Are you serious? Are we gonna be stranded? Betsy, can you not go up 10%? Betsy? Betsy cannot go up 10%. Oh my god. Oh my god. Are you serious? Did I... Okay, well, let's tie this. None of these other brakes are tied, right? No. Let's tie that one. Unpin you there. One brake is not enough to hold these cars. What about 2 brakes? 2 brakes is not... 3 brakes it is. Alright, we're just... This is gonna be a struggle. I really hope I didn't just strand... I mean, you're never really stranded. I could re-rail everything, you know, put down a teleport office. You can re-rail across the teleport office. It's just a real pain in the butt to do. Sander? No, I don't have this. I can't pull 3 cars. Are you serious? Okay. Alright, we're gonna get a run at it, and maybe we'll be able to get 3 cars up with Betsy, and then we'll have to do the other 3. I can't believe I made this mistake. I knew this was gonna be a problem, too. This is gonna be a doozy of an industry to supply stuff to. It's gonna be fun, but we're gonna need helpers. Like, we're gonna need a gear engine, possibly a Shay. This would be the reason to start with a Shay, is for this right here. I can't believe this. This is ridiculous. Alright. Let's go full steam ahead. Hopefully we can do this and pull 3 cars at once. If not, we're literally gonna have to come back. Wait a minute, I'm not gonna be able to get iron to the smelter. We're gonna need a Shay before we can even get iron to the smelter. Because there's no way we're gonna push 1 car up this hill. Like, maybe with a Shay and Betsy, we could get 1 coal car up the hill. Okay, Betsy can seemingly do 3. We are losing speed, but we're gonna make this first hill. Yeah, and then we'll pick up a little bit of speed and we should make the second hill. That's ridiculous. Okay, so we can do 3. Yeah, I think we're gonna probably, I'll have to pull out the math and take a look at it, but I think we're gonna need to buy a Shay pretty early on just to leave it at the iron mine. Because it's the first sort of gear train you can get. I mean, it's a piston train, really. Well, they're all piston trains if we really want to talk about it, but it's like one of those, I mean, it's a gear train. It is essentially a gear train. And so we can park a Shay at the iron mine and use it to push stuff up this 10% death hill. Because we're going to need to at least get 1 car of iron out and then do it 600 times to actually supply the smelter with anything. It's good, though. This is good. This is actually a great opportunity to test the functionality of the yard and the iron turnaround. So we're gonna go back the way we came. We're gonna loop around on that really tight track, and we're gonna drop these off in the yard, and then we're gonna go back to the iron mine and pick up the other 3, and then push them up to match in the same spot, and then we'll be good to go. All right, so we come in through here. Perfect. Loop left on this incredibly steep track, but this would be with a single iron car that's already been unloaded. We'd come in through that direction, we'd push, we'd unload it right away, and then we'd come through here. And we'd literally be dragging, like, maybe 1 or 2 cars, but, you know, probably with a gear train, so it's gonna have really, really good swivel capacity. So this shouldn't be that big of a deal, even though it's super... Look at how much Betsy bounces, that's crazy. Yeah, it shouldn't be too much of a big deal, though. The unfortunate thing is we do foul this line, because we can't cross across to get into a different shunt line, but that's okay. And now we could just drop our cars like that. Put a brake on that one. Just jump back into Bets. Oh, I'm on the roof. That's cool. There we go. Those should stop there. Perfect. And now we head back down to the iron mine and pick up the rest of our cargo. And bring it up in reverse. I don't have a turntable here. We have like 16 Ys. I mean, we could just turn around in a Y here and then go backwards in reverse, but it really doesn't matter. We can honestly just push this up. Gonna have to... Oh, I guess we are going to do that. Unless I can magic flick this. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Yeah, we'll just push it up in reverse. It'll be fine. Pretty sure we just get to here. We're going to have to put a sign that says, like, the hill starts. It starts kind of back there a little bit. Like, we're still clearing this hill. And it's not steep. It's, like, only 4%. And then it just gets worse and worse and worse. But I love this drop-off look. Like, from here, it looks beautiful. And then it's just, oh, my God, we're going to die. Love it. Yeah, full steam, Betsy. Let's go. 27, 29, 31, 33, 35. If we don't catch air on this jump, I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. We did not. We did not. 48, 50 miles an hour. There are cars we're about to hit. Full brake, full reverse. Oh, we do. Okay, we do die. Okay, well. Good to know we can't hit the bottom of this at 50 mile an hour. It will kill Betsy. Doesn't matter. We need to re-rail anyway. Wonderful. This is cool. I'm a big fan of this Iron Mine layout. It's kind of jank, but it's really, really cool. It really much feels like an industry where it's just some weird location where they have an iron mine. And I mean, realistically, I feel like if this was narrow gauge, they'd probably have some sort of a switch set up here, and then just a single line that goes down and comes up, and have an engine push and pull, and not do like this whole loop thing with 2 bridges. I mean, it's twice the price to make 2 bridges, right, instead of 1. So I feel like you do it with a single track and then come back up with a single track. But either way, I like the way this looks. I think it's cool. You know, I don't care if it's super realistic or cost effective. It's a 10% line right away. So we're gonna have a fun time with this one. Rather than doing the 6% helix that takes forever, we're just doing a 10% and getting there direct, which is kind of awesome. It's gonna be crazy though with a fully loaded timber train. We'll have to come down with lots of brakes. But the nice thing is, if we can pull it up 4%, we should be able to pull the empties up 10, which is gonna be, that's gonna be the other half of the math. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Smelter and iron mine setup. Gonna make some money next episode. Gonna have to buy some cars or do something. What I might do is I might do some logging and then buy an engine at the end of the episode. Like, we do some logging with these cars, we can buy a better engine. You know, and that might work, and like, cause we're gonna need a Shay. I don't see how we're gonna do much around here without a Shay. And then we can use the Shay and a Porter together. It's kind of like the horsepower combo. The Porter gets you going at speed on the flat stuff, and then the Shay is like really what powers you up the hills when we're pulling up 4%. Cause we're gonna need to get a bunch of these little plank and lumber cars and put them on the sawmill run up the 4% to the smelter, deliver those all the way to the iron mine. Then we're gonna need a hopper car. Lots of stuff to do now to really get the industries going and start making some money. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure, of course, you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And we're just going to hook up here and then take all this down to the freight depot. Go down that big old run. Perfect. Done. Nice. I think we're good. Are we hooked in? We got a brake on? We're good? Brake? No, we lost it. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and we'll see y'all next time. Oh, I had double pin. See, that's the problem. Can't have double coupler.